We need to strip our motor leads. And to start with, I'm going to use the good old lithium-ion batteries because I know they work. We now need to connect, oops, I want to short them out, that'd be bad, catch on fire. So we now need to connect these two together, but we also need this ground to be common to the signals that we're applying here. And these signals need to be 5 volts. You don't want to connect this red wire from the batteries to these signals because this is 8 volts and these are 5 volt inputs. You'll burn out the H-bridge motor controller. So we need another source of 5 volts with a common ground to the battery. So I'm going to get my 5 volts from this Arduino because the Arduino has a regulator on it somewhere. That's it right there, right next to the power plug, power jack I guess. And then we can just pull off the 5 volt line right there, that pin there. And then we can touch it to these to make sure the tires are working. And the motors too. So I have this awesome little power plug which has screw terminals on it. So these screw terminals have a tab in there. And when you loosen the screws, the tab goes up, allows you to put the wires in, and then you tighten down the screws and the tab comes down on top of the wires and ties them and makes a good electrical contact. So we need to, fortunately, what this Arduino will do for us as well as it will give us common ground. So all we really need to do is take the black wires, make sure you put the shiny part of the wire in there, because the black is an insulation. The shiny part of the wire is where the current has actually carried. I'm going to pop these lithium-ion batteries out here because I'm afraid they're going to short out and start smoking. That wouldn't be no good. That would not be good. So you can see I'm putting both wires in there, trying to hold them in place. Just the shiny silver part of the wire, tighten down this screw. Do a pull test, all is good. Okay, we got a couple strands loose, running loose there, but that's okay. For this test, it will be fine. Okay. Pull test, all is good. No shorts. We now have 7.5 to 8 volts going to the Arduino, and also going to the what's shown as 12 volt and ground inputs on the motor controller. We're not going to use the plus 5 volt input. Alright. So now we're going to take the 5 volt pin on the Arduino, put a little jumper in there, and once we power up with our batteries, we're going to touch this 5-volt signal to in 1, in 2, in 3, in 4. And when we do that, we should get one side forward and reverse, the other side forward and reverse. And so that's a good way to test out your motors, your wiring, and your H-bridge. Okay, so I think we're ready to do this. Let me get a block here to put the chassis up on. Nothing like a piece of 2x4 for that purpose. Those wheels are likely to be spinning pretty well, and so we kind of got to get our wires out of the way of the wheels here. I'm going to install the batteries. This battery box is nice because it has a switch, so I can turn it on with that switch. And now we can check out, get the wires away, and green. Okay. There you can see, nice sound, nice and powerful, good speed. And that's forward. The next one, same wheels, reverse. It should be the other side. Okay, so that's reverse. And that's forward. So, that's pretty good.